New logo, new season, new intro, and a new channel. What should you guys be expecting from me next season? Hello guys, it's your boy Manny here on Manny Mensa channel. Please, as always, like, subscribe, share, all the shebang. And it's been a while. It has been a while after everything that Tottenham put me through last season, after all the sleepless night trying to fight relegation, after all the dross football that we watched under Thomas Frank and Igor Tudor. I needed to recover, guys. I needed to recover. So what did I do? I took a 6-week hiatus. I decided to go away, get busy at work, relax, take it all in, understand what we went through, and actually recharge and come back. And that is what I have done. And in my time off, I have decided to rebrand. I've changed my channel name. I've changed my profile picture. I've changed my banner, and I've changed the direction of travel in this channel. So we're not going by designated hotspot anymore, because I thought, listen, man, I love football. I love football. I'm a realist. I'm a passionate football fan who watches any sort of football as much as I can, especially now that I've got a family, right? So I thought there's no point having designated hotspur in the mist, because if I did that, anyone watching it, anyone tuning in will probably be looking at the name and thinking, he's only going to be talking about Tottenham. I'm not going to listen to this. But actually this season, what we are going to be doing is we are going to bring you any sort of news, any sort of reaction on any major thing that's happening across the board with regards to any other team. I'm going to be having a lot of people on the channel, and it's most likely going to start next week, early next week, with Dan United on the channel, talking all things United, to see where he thinks United are, where he thinks they're going to finish this season, but also what his thoughts are towards Spurs and the transfer business that we've done, and the direction of travel that we've embarked on under the tutelage of Roberto De Zerbi. So we're going to cover everything. We're going to try and get Tobes on. We're going to try and get Charlie from Chelsea fan Charlie. And I was on the 12-man podcast. Big up to Dan Potts, who had me on. So please check it out if you haven't watched it. Try to defend Spurs against Wolfie as much as I could. But these are all the people that we're going to be having on the channel talking all things football. So please tune in when you can. Hit that notification bell so that you will be alerted as soon as anything comes out. And I am going to try and bring you something every single week, every Monday at least, and something else on top of that. So we're going to try and be consistent, guys, and hopefully majority of you who are still here, 962 of you, will be with me on the journey to wherever we get to. So big up. I thought I'll do some housekeeping at the start, but guys, I am excited. I'm not even gonna lie. I don't care what people say. As you know, I'm not really a YouTuber. I just use this platform to just iterate what I want to iterate, and I am excited about next season. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I'm not going to play, towards the, oh, I'm never happy kind. No. I am excited about next season. Roberto De Zerbi came in last season with 7 games to go. He won 3 of those games. He drew 2 and lost 2. And in that run, West Ham got relegated to the Championship instead of us by the skin of our teeth. And what I have been saying in the past has really come to fruition, guys. You know, for all the guys, and I absolutely love Stell, but obviously he was absolutely waffling when he wanted Spurs to get relegated, right? And I knew that the threat of relegation was going to be a much more powerful, how do I even put it? It would have been a much more powerful statement. It would have sent shivers down the spine of every single board member at Tottenham Hotspur. So even though I hated it, I am glad we went through it. We went through it, and because of that, we managed to sack anti-football Thomas Frank. Again, I couldn't care less what anyone thinks. Anti-football, as certain other people would say, anti-football Thomas Frank. And we brought in, we pulled all the stops to get Roberto De Zerbi. And he is really slowly churning that wheel in the minds and aspirations of the board and everyone else at the club. Because we've gone gung-ho. We've absolutely revamped nearly the entire team by the attack. And from what I'm hearing, we're going to be doing more even in the coming days. We have Vicario is looking to be leaving. And I'm glad, because his ball, you know, even when it comes to his shot stopping, we've seen in the last 7 games and also during preseason that Kinski's shot stopping is also outstanding. He needs to improve 100%, but Dubravka coming in as his number 2 is able. I love that pairing. I think he's a good pairing. And if Kinski was to not be on form, Dubravka can come in and do a good job. Really, really good signing. Vicario is going to be out the window, I believe, by August 31st. And then we go into the defense. Now, just yesterday, and I don't know when this is going to be coming out, maybe Friday, maybe Monday, but yesterday we confirmed that Romero and Jed Spence have both been sold to Inter Milan, to Atletico Madrid and Inter Milan respectively. Romero for a fee of 40 million euros with a 15% sell-on clause, and Jed Spence for a fee just above 30 million euros, again with another 15% sell-on clause. Now, I don't think the sell-on clause for Romero is going to come up too much, maybe a couple of millions, unless he goes to Atletico and absolutely tears it up and Madrid or Barcelona go for him. I don't expect him to move again at this stage in his career. However, with Jed Spence, I do believe that he is well suited for that 3 at the back with the wing-backs positioning at Inter Milan. He's well suited for the sort of football at Inter Milan and in Italy. And I think that he will get a big move. I think he will get a big move. And just to clarify, from what I'm hearing and from what I'm reading, this is not a 15% sell-on clause on profit. It's a 15% sell-on clause on the fee that Inter Milan sell him for. So I can see, just like Denzel Dumfries, him going to a Barcelona, a Real Madrid, or even a Liverpool, Manchester United later down the line. So I think that Jed Spence's fee is probably going to be in the region of 50 million pounds by the end of it, in my honest opinion. So I think it's good business. It's good business for 2 players who didn't want to be at the club anymore. For 2 different reasons. Obviously, for Romero, good riddance. I've been one of the biggest fans of Romero, but I think it was time to go. And for Jed Spence, I wanted Jed Spence to stay. I'm not even going to lie to you. I wanted Jed Spence to stay. However, he wanted to have first team football, which De Zerbi was never going to promise him. He was never going to promise him, and rightly so. We need to get away from being the sort of club that gets, put into ransom by, held to ransom, by players, and that is the sort of culture that De Zerbi is trying to change. And Spence wanted to play first team football. I wish him the best. I think I loved him as a player, but we have to be realistic. He was probably our best 1v1 defender. However, going forward, the guy had a nosebleed. He would go forward and not know what to do. So I actually think that the formation that Inter Milan play and the tactics that Inter Milan deploy with 3 at the back is probably the best thing for him going forward. So absolutely no qualms with regards to that. And when you look at the back line itself, we've done our job. We've done our job. We are looking to replace Jet Spence, and the rumours that are floating about is Munoz from Crystal Palace and other players. So that's a good sign that we're not looking to be playing Archie Gray at right back. But then we've tied Porro to a new deal, which was a masterstroke before the insanely good World Cup he had, coming back as a winner. We brought in Van Hecke for a 52 million deal. He was in his last year of his contract. So signing him for 52 million just shows the ambition of this board, that they are not going to buckle over prices, right? We have Danso, ever reliable Danso. We also have Hardy, who in this preseason has been outstanding in my opinion, and is going to be an able-bodied deputy if things were to go to pot. We also signed Van de Ven to a longer-term contract on 240k a week. Yes, you heard that right. Spurs paying a player 240k a week. Well deserved for what he is bringing to the team. And we also have Senesi, who was with Van Hecke, were one of I think that they were both in the top 3 progressive passing stats in the Premier League. And then at left back, we brought in experience. Robertson, we have Udogi. Like, guys, we still have Suso, by the way, which I'm hearing might be going to Benfica for a fee of 20 million, but I'm not entirely sure. But the defense is sorted. The defense I am happy with. We then went on, and in midfield, we 100 million pounds for Tonali. To be precise, 92.5 million plus add-ons for Tonali. Like, I can't believe I'm even saying this. It's like this is a new club. This is a new club altogether. 85 million for Matheus Fernandes. 85 million British sterling. And United fans were crying. They were crying, and they're still crying. Said rants talking about when they were linked to these players, right? They were there saying, this guy could be a 100 million pound player in a couple of years. That's what they were saying. These are not my words. That's what they were saying about Matheus Fernandes when they were linked to him. Now, apparently, Andre Santos is as good. Yeah, actually, he is better than Matheus Fernandes. Shut up. Be real. Stop the copium, Said. Stop the copium rant. He is a great signing. We then also have really talented Bergvall. He is a TBC. We're not entirely sure whether he is going to get sold. But what we do know is that Spurs are looking at a 60 million fee to even consider selling him. And I hope he stays. Archie Gray is going to be here. Pape Matar will have to leave. I'm hearing Brentford are really in for him. And we still have Bentancur, who in my opinion was outstanding when he came back from injury. And he was 100% a major catalyst in us being able to not get relegated. Major catalyst. So the business we've done so far has been outstanding in my opinion, which puts the transfer window at a 7 out of 10 so far from where I stand. We, however, need to bolster our attack. Kudus clearly is not 100% fit enough, or the taking their time with him because they don't want him to have a reoccurrence of injuries. Understood. Kulusevski has been 1 year out, and he will definitely be eased into the season by allowing him to play 10 minutes here, 5 minutes there. Maddison is also, he's come out and said he's not nursing an injury, and that he's had a session with the players, but it's quite clear he's played no preseason games. So it's very, very, very clear, or maybe very little. I can't remember when he came on at some point, but it's very clear that he is not going to be playing 38 games this season. We know Xavi and Odegaard, who can also play in the 10, are injured and not back until at least November, December this year. And even when they come back, what is the form that they're going to be in, right? So we still have Richarlison and Solanke at the club. I think I'm hearing Solanke has also got an ankle knock as well. So we need reinforcements in that attack. Even if everybody was fit, we would have needed an upgrade in quality in that attack, which we don't currently have. So I really hope we do bring in at least 2 quality attackers. Now, Sizzy, SZY on Twitter, he has been absolutely bang on all year with regards to Tottenham. He sent out a post yesterday or last night, practically saying that there is all this saga with regards to Savinho is going to come to an end in next week, and that actually is going to be in Tottenham's favour. Woohoo! It's I think a couple of days ago it was the 1 year anniversary of us pursuing this brother. So I'm actually absolutely happy and ecstatic that we are going to get our man. I'm ecstatic that De Zerbi sees what I see, which is a player ready to explode, a player that has an incredible ceiling if he was to polish up his output, a player that can play both on the right and on the left, a player that is a touchline winger, a player whose take on percentages is through the roof, a player who's got an incredible touch. I'm sorry, a player that is twerking to come to Spurs. I'm sorry to say, he is what we need. And if we have Kudus, a threat on the right, Savinho, a threat on the left, or even Tell, who's been outstanding this preseason, a threat on the left, and Savinho, a threat on the right, Kudus in the 10. Guys, I am telling you, we will be cooking. And I know that during the 12-man podcast, people were laughing when I said we will finish top 4. People were in the droves, Wolfie, having an absolute laugh and a blast during the stream, telling me, oh, Van Hecker has been top of errors leading to goals. Well, I am repeating it now. Get Savinho in, get Gakpo in, we will finish top 5, 100%. And look out for my prediction, Premier League table prediction video, which will be coming out next week, right? Look out for that, because I believe in De Zerbi. Believe, right? So, guys, if you've got to this point, please, thank you so much for all the support I've got. Please get me back to the 1,000 subscribers, which literally dissipated as soon as I stopped posting. I'm on 962 subscribers. I need 38 to hit 1,000, and we will be consistent. We will try and get onto other shows which talk about more than just Tottenham, more than that. So please keep supporting your boy, and let us see where we will get to this season. But to Spurs fans, I have high hopes for this season. But once again, to the people, come on, you Spurs.